Guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing really well. You've guessed it, we've got the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro Solar Sapphire in for a review. Now, I've had this watch a little while, so I do apologise for not kicking out a review earlier on, but I didn't really want a first impressions kind of video and try and get ahead of the curve. I'm not sponsored by Garmin anyway, but Garmin, if you're hearing this, hit me up. I'd love to do some more videos, but if you're not aware, this is Garmin's latest line to the Fenix, and this one is jam-packed full of all their latest features. It's got this beautiful sapphire screen and wrapped in some lovely titanium. However, some of you might notice that I've got a screen protector there. It's just to give me some additional protection, a little bit more peace of mind when I'm being rough in the outdoors. So this actual sapphire screen is extremely nice, but it's very reflective, so it is extremely clear. You'll see there when the backlight's on, it pops, and it's got a very, very nice colour screen there. So with this watch, as with any of the actual Fenix line, they have Garmin's features in abundance. So where do we start? Firstly, this is not a cheap watch, and I'm not surprised really because of what it does. For example, with the activities profiles, and you'll see that it automatically changes to an automatic light setting. You have got everything that Garmin do, including some tactical options, which I'm extremely pleased to see. And that was one of the decisions actually when I got this watch over the actual full-on tactical full-fat versions. I certainly wouldn't be buying this watch for a ballistics calculator. I know you can get them like that, and some people do use them for that, but for me, I'm kind of old school using mil dots, and if I'm shooting any further than that, then I have a pre-calculated shooting platform. But if you do get the tactical versions of this watch, you can have that built in. So these are some of my favourites, some of the things that I use, navigation, what have you. And then if you go add, there are folders and folders and folders of different workouts. Now, a really nice thing that I'm very glad to see, there's some motorsports options, but also there's combat sports as well. So you should have, if I can find it, things like boxing, mixed martial arts, which I think you saw on the other page. I think it's in other. You've got golf, yoga, stuff for gaming as well. You can have other apps on here. I mean, it is insane what you can have on here. Triathlon. I mean, it is just bonkers. There is so much. Even disc golf, which is pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool to watch that as well. Just insane amount of activity. So if you can imagine it, there it is, boxing. If you can imagine it, the activities on here, it's got a really nice display so you can see some of the things, especially if you're doing stuff like Pilates or yoga, that sort of stuff. Now, as it is a Garmin outdoors watch, of course it's going to have your full ABC suite, so your altimeter, barometer and compass. If I press hold down this sort of preset, you can get an idea of what it looks like, and the screen, you can see how beautiful and fast and responsive that is. This thing is lightning quick. It's got some really nice features, really nice clear display for your elevation there. Your barometer here as well. And this is set in millibars. Now, we've just had a storm in the UK. Gradually over this 12-hour period, you can see that it's been raising the pressure. So it gives you an indication that the weather's going to get better, drier and fairer. And if you're an outdoors person like myself, you'll really appreciate this. The compass, I really love the compass on this watch. The other one there down here, the Instinct 2 Solar Tactical, great watch, absolutely fantastic battery life, but I wish it had some of these features on the Fenix, and I can understand why there's such a price difference. So this one, you're looking at under 500 English or $500, and this one will set you back around about the $900 or £900. So it is very expensive, but it's got some great stuff. So you can lock your heading, just like you can do on a traditional compass. So we can pick, what a heading might well be. So let's just pick that and set it. And then it will give you a deviation. And once you get to the locked position, it vibrates ever so slightly. So you can pick your course and stick to it. And look, it's giving you a left and right with the arrows there. Really nice. Absolutely love that. You can, of course, calibrate it. That's such a cool feature. That it really is. When I saw that, I was not that I was blown away, but I just thought, dang, that's really, really useful. Now, a lot of you are going to probably scream at me and want to know all about this light. And do you know what? When I realised that some of these Garmin watches had lights, at first, I'll be honest, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick, because I'm always carrying a flashlight. I've probably got about 10 to hand behind me in the studio. I've always got about 3 in my bag, because 1 is none and 2 is 1. So really good principle to live by. So I thought, what is a flashlight going to be like? Honestly, on a watch like this, how useful can it be? And I'm going to be honest, if you double press this button, it's a quick setting here. This light is really good. I've heard some reports that some people say that it's somewhere on par with an iPhone or the light on your camera phone. Now, I don't think that's completely fair, because the light on this, I think, is a bit purer and a bit better. And bearing in mind it's on your wrist and you don't have to hold something, so you can do things and have it on your wrist whilst you're holding something. So it might be like a stick, or you're doing some mechanic work, so you can hold it this way and still focus on what you're doing. The light output is fantastic. So double press this top light button to activate that, or if you can press and hold, you have flashlight settings including Morse code and strobes. And I've already done some testing for you, so I will add that in here now so you can get an understanding of where we were. And I was in a dark car park, and basically I was testing all of the white settings and the red settings, and I did adjust the camera as best as I could to portray what was going on with my natural eye, basically. So I hope you can see that nicely there. So if we go back to the flashlight now, if I just enter the menu, you'll notice there that there's 2 more levels above and there's 1 beneath plus a red mode. So if I turn the light on, that was the second mode, and I'll be honest with you, found this to be the most useful, probably the least battery burning, but most useful. So I kind of leave it there. You can put it 1 more down, and this is far brighter than your mobile phone screen if you're sort of trying to walk around the house in the middle of the night and not, attract too much attention. This level is very subtle, so if you're in a very dark place and you don't want too much light and you just want to read something quickly, this is really good for general. The third one is even brighter, really, really good. And the fourth is extremely bright, it really is bright. It doesn't show it so well on the camera, but believe you me, this is really bright, and if you're in the dark, you'll easily be able to see something on the floor, easily be able to see a person, no problem. By all means, this is not a tactical light, so let's turn the light down, but you do have red option, and the red is really good. I'd say the red mode is ever so slightly brighter than the lowest white setting. Of course, it's a red light. It's quite directional actually, so you don't have too much light exposure from the side if it's on your wrist. It's pretty good. It's quite impressive. We'll go back to the white. Again, it's fairly sheltered because of the bezel, which I was shocked at, if I'm honest. If we go to the strobe functions, you can customize these. So you've got standard blink modes. You can make a custom one. Blitz. And you make it pulse. And also when you're running, walking, etc., you can match your cadence of your step or running. So that's pretty sweet. Again, it's great having this. I used it recently. I was trying to find a friend in a car park that was very dark. There's loads and loads of cars in the car park. And I didn't have my flashlight to hand, so I thought, oh, what can I use? And so I just put the watch on like this and pointed it in the rough direction of where I thought he might well be, and yeah, really handy. So the flashlight, if I'm honest, super handy. I really appreciate it. I didn't think I was going to say that, honestly, but I think it's brilliant actually. So now that I've got it on my wrist at all times, I kind of love it. I mean, it doesn't stick out, it doesn't look bad, you don't know it's there, but if you need a quick, flashlight, 2 clicks of that and you have light. Brilliant. Watch does have Wi-Fi. You can Wi-Fi upload things, you can do downloads on the device itself and do software updates. Really good. Does have a battery saver. So you'll notice there it says 8 days. That's only because I've got my screen on the maximum brightness, so it helps you guys see on the video. But if I hit that, what it will do, you can customize it, but it will turn off your heart rate, You can have it turning the screen off and putting a battery saving screen like this. Yeah, so it's really good. It will save the battery. What I've found is it kind of adds about 10 days roughly to your runtime. So full charge should be 22 days. You hit battery saver, I think it puts it over 30 days. And obviously you can customize that, you can change it. I have seen it written somewhere that it'll go up to 51 days, I think, with solar. But I found very easily it will do 30 days. And even when you're doing activities, the watch seems to have a little bit more battery life that it can sustain doing things, where I found a little bit that the Instinct 2, when you're doing a lot of activities, regular activities, I cycle a lot, walk a lot, etc., it does eat the battery life. So it's one of those things to consider. The Fenix is out and out, kind of full fat, active smartwatch type thing. So it's designed for it. It's got all the other features, wallet, it's got music, you can download music onto it, it does all these features. Yeah, so it's really good. You've got your weather here. That will sync when you're synced with the watch with Bluetooth. So that's a really cool feature. I think it's off. Yeah, you just literally hit that and it will give you some very on-screen prompts. It does have a touchscreen, and I've got mine set to this bottom button. So all you need to do is press and hold. It will tell you, it gives you a slight vibration. You can also access, if you press and hold certain things, other options just by pressing and touching the screen. And I'll be honest, it's super handy. So you can go into your activity, you can see what's going on, tells you what you need to do. Again, just touch that. There's your barometer. But yeah, really good. Actually really useful as well, especially if you're using the wallet feature, that you need to sort of type in your passcode, because you do need to do that. You can do it with the screen buttons, and it's super fast, and even scrolling is really nice. I'll put it back on for you guys to show you that. So that's really useful. Nice, literally go backwards, forwards, etc. It just works really well. Now another nice feature, if I click on here, I'll just go into one of these just to show you the map really, is you can obviously view the map. So this is my last cycle ride, and you can zoom in by sort of double tapping. This does do full GPS multiband as well, with intelligent satellite management. So basically what that does is that depending on the signal you've got, so if you're in a really good GPS area, it'll probably only use GPS, but if you're in a place that's got a really bad signal area, this will actually adjust so that it uses the multiband sensor, and it will use as much satellites as it sees fit to give you the best tracking. So yeah, it's really good. Gives you full road names, which is really awesome. And obviously when you are sort of going about your business, you can it can route find for you. And I've had it a couple of times where I've been out in a sort of a very, very dense forest. I've managed to get a GPS lock, absolutely zero issues. It does lock very well and very quickly, which is I'm really happy to report. And then if you have a reference point, like you parked your car somewhere and you've saved a location, the normal way of doing that is literally to hold this button, and it will give you a dual grid, and you can set it up any way you want. But yeah, when you are in that forest and you get yourself kind of lost, which is what I did when I was going exploring, I literally just selected my waypoint. It managed to track a very reasonable route, and I think the route in the end was something like a 2-mile route or 3-mile route, and it was a really sensible route that it plotted. So it obviously knows where the trails are, and popularity mapping and that kind of stuff. Let's go to navigate. It will tell you some other things like instant detection there. You can look at your points of interest around you, and you can download maps. So when I was in America, this had North America. I've removed that now. I'm in Europe. You can have courses loaded. I've got all kinds of coastal and different riding areas. What else did we have in this? You can use a map. You can punch in your coordinates. You can do sight and go, which is based upon the compass. So you can literally pick something, press and it'll, you can sight something. So that's kind of like using a Lensmatic compass. Pretty sweet. Save locations, and then it'll give you the distance as well, how far they are from your current position. So you can see some differently cycling areas, all kinds of things. You can call it whatever you want. You can rename them. You can change the icons. You can hit them. Go to details map. Absolutely brilliant. And it remembers this, of course. So this was quite a dense forest, and yeah, it didn't struggle with GPS at all. It didn't lose GPS, because sometimes the watch will tell you off and say lost GPS. I haven't had that once with this. Even in the city in London, it's been really great. This works like an absolute champ, and I really do think, I know it's a shame that some of these other watches can't have the sort of turn-by-turn navigation, but these you can. And of course, if you want to kind of flip that and use it as a tactical option, even though it's not a tactical watch, you'd have so many useful features on here, and you could preset a location, navigate, and it's relatively innocuous, really. It's kind of one of those things, it's just a watch, it's hidden under your wrist, could be under clothing. It can also give you audio prompts. You can pair it with Bluetooth headphones and what have you. You can pair it with your phone, obviously, and have comms on your phone, and you can reply, if you've got Android, via text message with preset text messages that you can set on the Garmin Connect app. So from a tactical aspect, that's really interesting. You could set certain things and have your communication very subtly, communicate from your watch very quietly, and stay effective in the field. So for me, that's really cool. Now, I've mentioned it's got Jumpmaster. I have spoken about Jumpmaster before. I am not a parachutist, definitely not an expert at jumping out of airplanes. I did speak to a paratrooper recently about this, and even though he's spent, 16 years in the parachute regiment, a lot of time they'll do a static drop from a set height, and they'll have their briefing, and this obviously can navigate whilst you're in the air, and it has all of the things. So you got your drop points, your altitude, your forward throw, which I don't understand. I don't understand that as well. High altitude rendezvous point, I believe that means. Your speed of your aircraft, the wind, and yeah. So certainly if you want to navigate whilst you're in the air, what a fantastic thing this does. It has also the tactical features that you have on the other watches, which is brilliant. And your mapping, location, heart rate, fantastic, really. It really is good. You can have workouts on here. So for me, fantastic. Yoga. I mean, it's awesome. This for me is like the top fitness watch and kind of do it all outdoorsy watch that you could imagine. So you think, right, I'm really serious about my fitness, this will cover you. I'm very serious about going outdoors, exploring, mountaineering, skiing, golf, whatever that is, whatever sport, this has got it. It's absolutely got it. Even disc golf, I mean, that's a sport. The things they do with those discs are crazy. So it's got pretty much everything. The only thing I think is a kind of a negative that might be a barrier is if you're looking at the higher end features. So if you didn't want the flashlight and you weren't too fussed about the sapphire screen, which is more naturally scratch resistant, you can go for the normal 7, which is much cheaper. I believe the normal 7 has got the upgraded sensor, but it doesn't have the nice display or the titanium, which does make it a little bit lighter, slightly more robust here. It doesn't have the flashlight, of course. They do have touchscreen and a lot of the other features. I think, being this is because the solar sapphire one, I think the memory on this is improved to 32 gig off the top of my head, and the battery life is also slightly improved, which you do need because they do eat battery. But for me personally, I'm charging it about once a month. And I haven't found it that I've got to sort of the stage where the battery just dies on me and then I've got nothing left in the tank. It's never happened. And it's certainly never happened when I've been doing activities or just using it generally. So I charge it once a month, which is fantastic. No Apple Watch could say that. And I think it's a big contender. But like I said, the price is quite high. So would you say it's worth double what the Instinct is? I'm not sure. That will get you about 70-80% of the features. that does have a fantastic battery life. But then if you're doing more activities and more sports activities, this is where this starts to fade away. It's a great outdoors watch, but this, if you're looking at the sort of fitness side of things, etc., this has got that licked easily, and it's got all of the activities that any other Garmin watch would have. So really, what are the alternatives? I mean, there are other watches on the market, but they do miss some of the features. I mean, Garmin, I think, if I'm honest, are king in the GPS realm. They just can't be touched. Every Garmin device that I've ever owned has had such a good GPS that I do trust them when I'm out mountaineering or doing something a little bit crazy. So for me, that's really sort of worthwhile. You can share your tracking if you're doing a big event, if you're doing a 30 miler or something like that. I found they've just been so reliable and bulletproof that I do trust them, if I'm honest. And for me, that's really important, certainly when I'm out and about. You've got watches from Coros, Casio, some other random ones, Amazfit. They all fit a niche, but I think a lot of them try to aspire to sort of reach the sort of Fenix level. Now, compared to a Fenix 6 and this watch, the Fenix 6 will, much like this one, will get you quite far close to this watch, especially some of the higher end Fenixes. The 6X, I think, has got the flashlight as well, but the flashlight on these are improved. But it's down to you really to decide that, given the price, is it going to fit your needs? Now, for me, so far, I've been so impressed with this watch. And for me, yes, absolutely, to share with you guys and also to use myself, I found it really good. And I have got no regrets. And I did pay for this, like I said. And luckily, I paid for it in America. So that would be my advice. If you're traveling from Europe, go to America. If you're going already, pick up a Garmin. Save a little bit on the exchange rate, ignoring the flight cost, of course, and save some money that way. And with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. Oh, I forgot to show you one thing, which I really love. Customizable watch screens. To your heart's content. You can have them plain Jane, you can have them just looking like a normal watch. Extremely clear, easy to read. I really enjoy it. And guys, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, do help me out and hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed the video, drop me a like. If you've got any questions, just say it, just ask. If you can't catch me here on YouTube, catch me on Instagram. A lot of people do reach out there, and I'm very happy to help you. But guys, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.